So this is most likely going to be considered a part two video around the Grant Cardone situation that I dropped at the time of this recording, probably about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. Grant Cardone was recorded at an event that he was paid to speak at, basically saying that $400,000 a year is a lousy income and that he would be ashamed as a human being to only be making $400,000 a year. So needless to say, it was a pretty outrageous statement that got a lot of attention. And many of us in the financial industry, in the finance space, here on, on YouTube and different content creation, kind of took it in and have, given our 2 cents on it. This video is actually going to be covering another prominent YouTuber's response that he recently dropped in response to Grant Cardone's comments around making $400,000 a year being pretty much trash. So that YouTuber is, I believe, is Clear Value Tax, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna drop the link in the description to his video. I definitely don't want to take anybody's, get any copyright issues or take anybody's thunder away from them. So I will be dropping his video response that I'm responding to down below. I'm not gonna play it in this video or edit it in. I'll let you guys catch up on it. But essentially, again, Grant Cardone was speaking at an event, and he made a comment that, $400,000, he had a little segment actually where $400,000 a year was brought up in income, and he made it clear that he doesn't even understand how anybody can live on $400,000 a year, that it's pathetic, he'd be ashamed, things of that nature. Clear Value Tax is a very prominent YouTube professional, content creator and a financial services professional. And he gave his response in a video at the time of this recording. I believe he released it today. And again, it'll be in the description below. I'll take the time out to link it. In his response, he basically said, took the more moral high ground response to Grant Cardone's statements. Clear Value Tax made it clear himself that he is not successful from content creation, that he actually has had a full-time career in the financial services space. I believe he's an accountant, if I'm not mistaken. And so he felt pretty comfortable speaking on this. And I'm actually doing this response video because I am also a new content creator, but my entire professional career is in the financial service and banking industry as well. So Clear Value Tax was making it clear that he's been financially successful before YouTube, as I can say the same thing. So his response was basically that, and I'm going to condense this and paraphrase, but his response to Grant Cardone was basically that, $400,000 a year is not, your income is not the defining factor of who you are as a person, that, firefighters, teachers, police officers, military service members, and on down the list, a ranking list of careers that make less than $400,000 a year are not pathetic people or trash people. And he kind of took that approach. He took that approach of, the moral high ground and classism, if you will, right? He basically had a perspective that, people are valued by their character and not their monetary value. And of course, that's true, right? Like, of course, that's a fact. People are judged by their character. There's some tremendously, great poor people, if you will, or low income people. And there are really trash rich people. And the same goes vice versa. There's some horrible poor, low income people, and there's some really great rich people. The moral of the story that I want to actually reflect on really quickly in this video in response is more that too often times, and I understand why before I say this, I do understand why, but for the sake of financial education, for the sake of the finance space, and for the sake of you as the audience, those of you who are watching, the Grant Cardones of the world, the Clear Value Tax, and those of you who are starting to catch on to my content and other finance content creators, too many times financial topics get turned into some kind of political, social, or class-related issue. And I totally understand why. They are deeply connected. I get it. But Clear Value Tax's response to this was totally fair in his perspective. Let's start there. He definitely has a right to speak on this type of topic, especially being in the financial, space himself. That's perfectly fair to say. But the reality of it is, I'm not here to defend Grant Cardone, but I believe that the deeper point for Grant Cardone, and of course he's a master marketer, right? His intent is to stay in the news, to stay in the media, to keep his name relevant. So I'm not here to speak for that. I don't know Grant Cardone. I have no associations with him. But I do believe, knowing Grant Cardone from his content, that it's more likely his focus was around the available opportunities in our economy versus the actual judgment of people not making more money. And I want to take a second to dive into this because I want to give some greater context that hopefully you guys can leave taking the value from it, right? I'm sure Grant Cardone doesn't probably feel like police officers, firefighters, and teachers are trash. I don't know him, but my guess is going to be that he probably doesn't feel that way. He probably has people in his own company he works with and is responsible for every day that don't make $400,000 a year. And he's looking in the face he probably says he loves. I'm sure that's not exactly the angle he was coming from. What I think was valuable from Grant Cardone's point of view was that the opportunities in our country and in our economy are vast. And in today's world, the ability to make money and at the speed of which you can make money has changed tremendously. $400,000 a year in anywhere in the United States is good money, period. I mean, obviously, if you're in Miami, Manhattan, parts of California, it may not be as impactful, but $400,000 in any part of the country is pretty reasonable. And in probably more than 50% of the country, you're living damn good. But the point behind the situation, I think, is setting the bar higher. Grant Cardone's perspective is probably many of you have the ability and their opportunities are out here for you to be making a lot more money. And setting the bar at $400,000 is too low. And the reality of it is professions do not designate or determine income. So clear value tax's response around, well, firefighters, teachers, and so on down the line, police officers, military service people. The reality of it is there is no guarantee that just because somebody's a teacher, a police officer, or a firefighter, that they can't make $400,000 a year doing something else. We have to be careful boxing people in, and we have to be careful making these financial topics so touchy, because what really could have been focused on from a financial point of view and trying to help more people get to $400,000 a year, and the clear value tax's response, he's making it a class issue. And again, it's totally fair he's doing so. I get it. We all want to be the defense of good people and protect people who may not be able to speak up for themselves in that type of scenario when Grant Cardone has such a big platform. I understand that. But in reality, I'm pretty sure it's more likely Grant Cardone's perspective was that many people can be making or exceeding $400,000 a year, that the bar is set too low for a lot of people. Nothing in this economy, not much in this economy, is stopping people from making more. Let's just say it that way. If you are a teacher, if you are a firefighter, if you're a military service professional, any other profession, which is almost every profession with a few exceptions, that makes under $400,000 a year, the reality of it is there's nothing stopping you from becoming a business owner or an investor. Many of us, if we focus and stay diligent and we pick up the right strategies and gather the right information and put it into action, many of us have the ability to hit these income goals and even exceed them. And I think that there's more value when these kind of bold, brash statements come out around earnings and potential and opportunities in this economy. I think that it's a lot more valuable for us to start to mitigate or at least moderate how much we allow these to turn into toxic topics. If you don't like Grant Cardone, if you feel like he's brash, you feel like he's an asshole, whatever your perspective may be, that's fine. But we all have an obligation, if we're going to consume content, to try to find value in it. And Grant Cardone's statements around $400,000 a year, the way he worded it, the way he positioned it, probably not the best as far as the taste that it will leave in many people's mouths. But the reality of it is, it should be making you think. Somebody who also doesn't come from very much and made it to where he is, what is it that he knows, or what is it that he understands, or what's his perspective to believe that $400,000 a year should be a low standard for most Americans? It's something that you should be asking yourself. What's stopping you from reaching $400,000 a year? And many of you can probably take the time out to figure out what that roadblock is, and it might be something that you can achieve in your lifetime. You need to be considering it from that point of view, instead of screaming at your phone or leaving disrespectful comments, or having negative cooler talk with your friends about the kind of ass that Grant Cardone is. It's kind of irrelevant in a sense of speaking. That's just one man's opinion. But the value is, this is somebody who's come from not very much and done tremendous things financially and impact-wise in his life. And he believes that it's doable for many other people. And I believe that was maybe more of the backbone of his statement. So I just want you guys to take the time to think about this. Stop letting so many of these topics become toxic. Like you can't make money in this sour mentality with a sour taste in your mouth, hating or upset about other people's opinions, or rich people this, rich people that. Listen, Clear Value Tax, from my understanding in his description in the video, is probably a millionaire himself. So even though he's championing the common everyday person in America, he's also rich. He's also rich. He's still somebody else that's demonstrating that there's a ton of opportunity in this economy, and that more people have the ability to do really well for themselves. So again, this is somebody else who's taking their opinion and maybe, making this a more intense topic than it has to be, but then himself participating in the economy in a certain way and having a tremendous amount of success. And I feel like there's just more value for us as financial professionals and finance content creators to take a little bit of the politics out of it, the social issues out of it, and hone in on the finance. That's what we specialize at: the monetary aspect, the economic aspect, the opportunity, how to help get people into a better place financially. And I think just making more people feel more inflamed by this comment, this viral moment, is debatable at best. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully this made you think. It should have. Go check out his video. If you haven't caught up to it, check out my original video. I also had another, finance business channel that I got it from originally that picked up on Grant Cardone's comments. I linked that gentleman's video in the original video. If you're really interested in the topic, just follow the trail and, you give your 2 cents and then reflect in your life. Where are you financially and how can you get to the next level? This is JP from Blueprint for Prosperity. Checking out. Thank y'all for tuning in. Stay focused. Stay in motion.